because you did well. Because you did well. Yes, we are moving to another rhythm thing. So I think it's safe to say you have it now. You've got it. Very good. So we got two new ones here, and I wrote it out a couple different ways. So number one, we've got a rest symbol at the beginning. We are not playing on the downbeat of 1. So what's the difference in how I wrote things? Really, it's just this quarter note, or this eighth tied to an eighth note here, which you can see as a quarter note here, and that's really it. So you got here the upbeat of 3 tied to the downbeat of 4, and then we see that again over here. The downbeat of 3 is tied, or sorry, the upbeat of 3 is tied to the downbeat of 4, which is the length of a quarter note, so we just do a quarter note here. This way you can see it both ways. So the upbeat of 4 for all these bars carries over across the downbeat of 1 for the next bar. So we do play on the downbeat of 1 to finish. That's the only time. Got to make sure we hit that last chord on the downbeat. So, word of caution. Typically when I give people this rhythm here, one of the biggest mistakes is they do not play this last chord on the downbeat. They get so used to not playing on the downbeat of 1 that they will play this on like the downbeat of 2. So make sure, be very careful. You hit that on the upstroke, and then right away we hit this on the downstroke. So just follow along with how I play it. Use Guitar Pro to double check things, and it should be okay. Now, when it comes to adding in those repetitions to finalize what you're learning at the end of each practice session, this chord, I want you to treat it like the rest of the pattern. So when you go to repeat, let this chord ring out across the downbeat of 1. So that's just when you're doing the repetitions. I will, yeah, so I'll demonstrate it with a repeat at least once, just to make sure you understand how it should sound. So rhythmically, try figuring out the count first. But because we're coming in after an eighth note rest, yep, we're coming in on that upbeat of 1, so we're going to be starting with an upstroke, and we have and 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 2, 3, and. So up, down, down, up, down, up, up. Here we go. You know the speed. 1. I have no volume. I have no volume. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 2, 3, and down. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go back down to 120 and show what the repeat will be like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Also coming in on the upbeat of 1. And just like before, written out a couple different ways. So here we have the upbeat of 1 tied to the downbeat of 2. Upbeat of 1 tied to the downbeat of 2. And here we just see this is a quarter note. So rhythmically, we got and 3, 4, and 3, 4, and up, up, down, up, down, up. And just like number 1, when you add in your repetitions, have this last chord carry across the downbeat of 1 here. Some theory for this. Because it just sounded good to me and I kept coming back to it, I decided we're going to use basically a half whole diminished scale. It's a very simple scale to learn. So if you don't know it yet, the name basically tells you exactly what it is. Half whole, you start with any note, and then you go up a half step, then a whole step. That's it. Half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole. We're just staying in the first 4 notes, turning them into power chords. I love messing around with that thing. It's a very common metal thing to do for the more extreme stuff, I feel. Lots of things you can do with those. Very harmonic minor sound to it. So you could also say this is like F harmonic minor. Hopefully I'm not going too far into the theory stuff here, but you could also say it's F harmonic minor because we have an E, F, G, and an A flat there. So an F harmonic minor would be F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E. So the half whole diminished scale, part of it is in harmonic minor. So you can look at it either way, but I was thinking half whole diminished when I was fiddling with this. Anyway, hey, let's play this thing now. Now we will get to in-depth harmonic minor as well. We will. And if you ever come across a scale you got a question about, let me know. 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 4, and 3, 4, and 3, 4, and 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down to 120. Make sure you understand how the repeat should sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, as far as just one thing about the theory and internalizing everything, I want to recommend caution with trying to internalize every possible thing you come across and everything that we do. The most important thing I feel is internalizing how to make it work, how to make it happen. because there's too much to have. I feel like there's too much stuff possible to have memorized, so you can just pull it out at a moment's notice. Understanding how to make it happen, how to find it, how to put it together, such as knowing that a major is a first, third, and 5, a minor is a 1 flat, 3, and 5, and things like that. Because when we get back into the suspended chords and whatnot, now we have several more things to learn. So, like, just remembering how do we make it a sus2, how do we make it a sus4 is good. And then when it comes to your own personal stuff, you'll end up focusing more on what you would want to use. So the sounds and the shapes that do something for you, those would be the ones you memorize more, in terms of like, oh, I'm going to call upon this shape right now because I really like it and I think it would fit here for whatever you're doing, right? It's like when we get into 7th chords, then we're basically adding on what's been done. Because it's a major 7 is you're taking a major triad, the 1, 3, 5, and adding the 7. If you add a minor 7 to that, you get a dominant 7. When you have the minor triad and you add a flat 7 to that, you get a minor 7. If you add a major 7 to that, then you get something called a minor major 7, which is found in harmonic minor. And as you saw in that last video, there were some chords. I think it was really just like maybe the diminished at the starting on the G string, possibly the D string as well. I don't remember. I had to stop and really think about it for a second. It's like, wait a minute, what the heck is that? But I was able to figure it out because I feel I understand how to build the things and break them down well enough to figure it out at a decent amount of time. It's like I've had one student a long time ago say, I want to learn every single scale, every possible chord shape, and all this stuff, and every single key, and have it all memorized and be able to just play whatever I want, whenever I want, like any of those chords or scales, whatnot. And as I said, well, good luck. It's like I have no intention of ever having all that stuff memorized because that's just too damn much. So, I don't know how far he ever got with it, but I haven't talked to him in a while. But there's definitely such a thing as trying too much, right? So, I guess the moral of this story is get the chord formulas memorized, so the interval combinations. Just remember how to make the shapes happen when you need to. And eventually, as we expand into chords with 4 notes, even 5 notes, arpeggios using 6 or 7 notes total, there's a ton there. Just so you know, we're building on what we learn here. We're going to just kind of keep adding to it, because those expanded chords or extended chords, where you have the 7th interval add and the 9th interval add or the 11th interval and stuff like that. Like, we're still taking the basic foundation stuff and adding to it. So in a way, we will continue using what you are doing with all the triad stuff, and we're going to expand on it. So we have the base, we have the foundation, and we're just going to add to it. So hopefully knowing that kind of give you an idea of where we're going to go with it, in terms of we're not abandoning anything, we're just going to add to it. So we will keep using stuff as we go. So hopefully that makes sense. As always, got any questions, let me know. I will see you in your next video.